Hey guys, I'm just gonna take you along today on a super fast clean out of my pantry, and I'm only gonna take 4 shelves today. The 4 on the left at the top is what I'm gonna be doing. I knew that I didn't have time to do the whole pantry, and this has been my downfall in the past, that I take this huge project on, and with my little kids, it just doesn't work out, and then I end up having everything on the floor, and it's a huge mess, and I can't do dinner, I can't get anything finished, and it ends up being actually a lot more work. So I thought it would be nice maybe to see a little bit of this view of the eating the elephant one bite at a time method of cleaning, because for me that's a really realistic type of cleaning method that I need to take on more. And I knew that I was going to be super overwhelmed if I tried to take on this entire pantry, and I've been putting it off because it's a huge job. So just 4 shelves was perfect for me for this nap time. So that's what we're gonna do. Guys, the stuff in here was so random that I found a Lego spaceman that was from my brother. He gave it to our son. He actually has been to actual space, which is so cool. So we've been saving that because I didn't want to give it to our son when he was too young and wouldn't appreciate it, but I'm gonna get that out and put it where it goes. So as you can see, we have everything on the floor here from the 4 shelves. There is just a lot of random stuff, and I'm just kind of organizing and consolidating, and I'm gonna put this bread. This is like long shelf life bread that we keep for emergencies like power outages and stuff like that. So I'm gonna put that and some of the overflow canned items downstairs in our shelf in our closet so that we don't have to deal with it all the time. And then a lot of this stuff I'm gonna end up consolidating and putting into our jars because we have all these empty mason jars in the cabinet anyway. So I might as well put stuff in the jars. I'm also going to end up throwing away a lot of this plastic packaging that doesn't need to be around, and going to be composting some paper napkins. We have cloth napkins, so we really don't need these. We also have these reusable grocery bags that go in our grocery bags in the car, and we have the bread that's going downstairs and some canned goods and just some random items that I'm gonna figure out where to go. Okay, real fast. I might take another day and do the whole thing, but right now I'm just taking my kids' nap time. I'm taking advantage of it. I'm trying to do a video, and I'm just doing one section at a time. I'm doing what I know I can manage and do and complete. So a couple of things I'm just throwing on the other side where they belong, but I'm not cleaning or organizing that stuff. That is something I'm doing intentionally so that I can make sure that everything is back where it needs to go in general in the section over here where I am organizing, where I'm actually doing stuff, and that it gets cleaned up and isn't on the floor for the baby or the kids to mess with, and that I am ready to go by the time dinner time comes around. So that's kind of a little bit of my strategy right now. I'm not doing things completely. Like I just found coffee filters on the left side, which is where we've kept them the whole time, but I just realized, why are we keeping them there? Our coffee section is up here in the middle. So I'm gonna put coffee filters with the coffee because it makes sense, because that's where our coffee and tea is. That's literally our beverage shelf. So I'm putting it all together, but I'm not dusting, I'm not sanitizing that shelf. I am just throwing it in there where it goes and leaving it because I'm just doing the left side today. Ooh, also, and I am not cleaning the windows today, the window parts, the glass, because everything isn't clean, and I just think it makes more sense to do all of the windows at once, all of the glass, when everything is cleaned out and there aren't going to be any like cocoa powder or coffee ground particles flying around. I'm just going to do everything thoroughly then. So I'm putting that off until I can get to it, which might be today. If the kids end up sleeping a long time and I get this done really quickly, then that could be today, but I'm just doing it one step at a time, making sure that I clean as I go so it's not overwhelming and I don't get burned out, because that is my pattern and I'm not going to do it. Minimalism tip: don't buy snacks, just don't buy them. I don't usually get this type of thing, but we did do keto for a while and this was a new flavor and I just couldn't resist. I wanted to try it. And every time I come across these in the cabinet, I just get really frustrated. We're not big snack people, and right now what we're doing for snacks is raw vegetables with hummus or guacamole as a dip. We're doing just apples and peanut butter, stuff like that. Fruit, boiled eggs, deviled eggs. Pantry snacks drive me crazy because there's always this half-eaten container. There's all this plastic everywhere. It's just really frustrating. So my philosophy is try not to buy dry goods snacks, because for me, they just don't do well. The only exception to that is I do love having jars of nuts, salted nuts and dried fruits, things like that, that are a lot healthier. There aren't additives in them. and I can put them in my jars so they're not just this huge, frustrating, annoying nuisance, because my pantry ends up being full of this type of thing and there's no category for it. Like if it's a jar, just throw it in with the jars. This stuff is just so random. And I'm actually gonna put these in a jar because I can't take it. I just can't look at these anymore in their package. So hopefully we'll eat these up soon, but it's just frustrating for me to have all this packaging that I don't like. So this is a good lesson for me. It's kind of like when you minimalize and you find stuff that you just hate looking at and you wish you had never bought it. It's a good lesson. Like, I just won't probably buy these again unless we are really super eating it fast, like every day or every week or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop buying so much of the packaged stuff. We don't buy a lot to begin with, but it just annoys me, so I'm gonna stop. So this is great. This is a jar I already had in there empty. It's taking up space. I'm not gonna get rid of it because I need some jars for storage, but nothing was in it, so it's taking up space, and now I can get rid of this. So this is one of those wins, and I'm doing that with several things, so that's gonna be good for the overall aesthetic and for cleanliness and just consolidating. I'm a big fan of consolidation. Another thing I'm going to be doing is using these wet erase markers that I just got for my menu planning, and I'm going to be marking some jars in a way that isn't permanent. So if I want to go back and take it out, I can use just a wet washcloth or something and just remove the label. So it's kind of a removable label for me, and that's what I've been looking for my mason jars. So I think that's going to be pretty good for what I need it for, because some of this stuff is hard to see. I didn't even know that I had two of these, and I was able to consolidate that into one jar, and that's great because I don't even use this for food. This is used for my toothpaste recipe. So it's good that I don't have to have 2 bags of that in my kitchen. Okay, that went really well and it didn't take too long, and I'll just show you what I have done so far. So I did the top 4. There are 2 left at the bottom that I did not do, and one of them is full of aprons and cloth napkins and tablecloths. And I do plan on doing something with that. I might do today. The other one is just canned goods that are pretty much good down there. And I put a few more down there. It's kind of awesome how much I got rid of. But so I have just this here for now, and I will put more in there as I find it and as it makes sense. But right now it's very random. It's just plums, prunes, food coloring that we only keep for like Easter egg dyeing, and sensory bins. We did a rice bin once, and that's the only reason we have that, so it's kind of annoying that it's there, but it's one of those things that I don't want to have to go out and buy if I want it. And some snacks that will be gotten rid of soon. They will be eaten. So not much there. At the bottom we have some hot peppers that Alex uses sometimes in some of his Asian dishes that he makes. We have some raisins. I put the other raisins in a jar with the rest of the jarred items that I have. So these are here. Oh, there I am, huh? So the raisins are in there with the rest of that stuff, which again, I will organize and minimize and deal with later, but that's not on the docket today. So then we have our ghee that we don't use very often, but we do use it and need it, and that'll be there. So it's lower down where we can't really see it as much, but we don't need it as much. So we keep our salt by the stove and just refill it as we need it, and that's our overflow. And yeah, so that's good. And up here, I just have flour, which we hardly ever use. We mostly use almond flour out of the fridge. These are just for when we've had groups over that we can't handle with our regular silverware, which is often, not very often, but again, when it happens, we need to be ready, and I don't want to go out and buy plasticware. And baking powder, so it's kind of like random, but also baking. This is really awesome up here. So we ordered this enormous, I'll show you. It's enormous. This is just protein powder. It's just egg white protein powder, and there are no additives or anything in it. And when it came, it was almost, we've used very little of it so far. It just came a couple weeks ago. So it's huge, and it didn't have much in it. It had so much space in it, like a potato chip bag. This is gonna be a really helpful container for our bulk oatmeal later. But I had it next to the stove in a cabinet because it was the only place I could find space for it. It was on our counter for about a week, and it was driving me crazy. I had no space for it. So I put the cheesecloth up there that Alex uses for yogurt in a jar that doesn't have a lid. And we keep our sole up there. That's just our salt water that we keep for hydration. And I was able to arrange it because the shelf is too short for this. So I was able to arrange it to where it all fit in. And that wasn't even in the section that I was cleaning, and I still got it in. So I feel great about that. So, looking pretty good. And I also have this random jar of pesto that has been driving me crazy for months because it's little, like it doesn't take up much space, but it's so, the random stuff just really bugs me in my pantry. And we got this before we went, all of us went dairy-free for a while, and then one of us was dairy-free and the other was dairy-free. And Alex has found out that he has a sensitivity to dairy, and there is cheese in this because it's pesto. And it's just become this burden in my pantry. That is very exciting for me to get this out of my pantry because I don't like it and I don't want it in there. I don't want to look at it anymore. Well, there you go. There's the finished product. I hope that this was helpful for you today. Maybe you don't have time to do a huge job today, but maybe it's inspiration for you that you can take 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe even set a timer and just do something small, and it will make a difference. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you like this video and we hope you subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments what else you would like to see.